It's not an easy story to hear or even a story to experience yourself. It's not easy at all. Took a lot from me. The world I know is gone. I can't take it back because of one mistake. I have to own it.
I have heard hundreds of stories in my lifetime, and Nup's story is definitely tragic. It took Nup 18 years to share his story with the world. I can understand why. My listeners, this is episode 6 of the X Perspective podcast, and I'm your host, Raj. Before we go any further, I must warn you, this story touches on issues related to depression, alcoholism, drugs, trauma, and suicidal thoughts. Still with me? Okay, good. Now I want you to think of the most important thing that you love in your life. This could be a relationship, career, activity, or whatever the case may be for you. Now imagine the very thing you love so much is taken away from you because of an unfortunate situation. It turns your life upside down. How do you even begin to process and live with such a loss? What's more, you come to believe the situation was caused by your own actions. How then do you muster up the courage to truly accept and take responsibility for your decisions? It is easy to blame the world and others when things don't go your way. It takes strength and lots of courage to take accountability for your life situation. Nope has done exactly that. He found the courage to own his decision, a decision he made 18 years ago. Kittivit Kanokwanvimol, also known as Nope, was born in Thailand and has an Indian background. About 2 decades ago, he was a high schooler. Life was fun. He played on the high school rugby team, and he fell in love with playing rugby. And this, my listeners, is where his story begins. Come with me. Let's meet Nup. Okay, so you started playing rugby, and did you enjoy it?
I loved it. I fell in love with that.
Yeah, you were so good that when it came to university, you got a scholarship to play rugby in Australia.
In Brisbane, in University of Queensland.
What was your dream?
So in Thailand, we have a national rugby sport, but back then, still just forming up.
That was 18 years ago.
Yeah. And then I want to become a rugby player professionally.
Can you tell me if both of your parents supported your dream to become a rugby player?
My mom, yes. My dad, no. He is more like an academic type. I have 2 brothers. One is a doctor now, and another one a pharmacist. So both of them are in a medical world. Straight A student. I'm more like E, so...
So did your dad want you to also be an academic and get a career as a doctor or a pharmacist?
No, he only said that if you are not good at studying, come and work with me.
Okay, so Nup wasn't exactly an academic type, but so what? He was a stellar athlete. After all, he did win a scholarship to play rugby at an Australian university. He was also determined to pursue his dream of becoming a professional rugby player and wasn't going to give up easily. But to do so, he would have to keep a huge secret from his dad, a secret that would eventually spark the events leading up to the incident that would change Nup's life forever. You didn't give up, though. You wanted to prove to your dad that you loved rugby. So what did you do?
I go to Australia without telling him.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because I worked through high school as well, trying to a little bit of money. right? And then I bought ticket and fly over to Australia
And
by myself.
This is when you were going to go to university?
Yeah.
So you went to Australia to attend university to play rugby without telling your dad?
Told my mom, but I didn't tell my dad.
Why didn't you tell your dad?
I was afraid.
Afraid of him getting mad at you for pursuing your dream?
Not just that, but not letting me go.
My listeners, can you imagine what it must have felt like for Nup to keep such a heavy secret because of his fear? Not only did he have to secretly save up money to cover his expenses for Australia, but he also had to leave home without telling his dad. What would you have done if you had a dream, but it was not supported by your family? How would you feel if you were in Nup's shoes? Try to see his perspective. I see.
Yeah.
But you went anyways, and then you came back and you visited family after your first year of university, and then the accident happened. So this was on January 1st, 2007. So can you walk the listeners through what happened during that time in your life?
Well, I came back for the holidays, as you said. Christmas holiday, New Year's, perfect, great. Be able to meet my family is great. Not be able to see them for a whole year was like heartbreaking for me. I love my family, even though my dad probably don't think so at that time.
Okay, we have reached the point in his story where Nup's life would take a 180-degree turn. It was the last day of 2026, and Nup's dad was furious.
My dad was furious. Like, we had a biggest argument that day. It was like so big that the whole family, Indian family, like you have brothers and nephews and everyone, right? We have a big, gigantic family. Everybody just together.
Was having a conversation.
Now, it's more like pointing at me.
Pointing at you. Okay, like interrogation.
Yeah.
Okay, so you sit down with your family, they're interrogating you, you talk a lot, and then what happens?
Well, since I'm 18, and at that time probably not making myself a good decision, maybe. I was just, find something. Just beer, vodka, a lot of vodka, and drink myself out.
They were interrogating you on what exactly?
Mainly for the apartment, right? And food and what else? Because there's no contact in a year.
Okay, and at the time your dad was also upset about you playing rugby at university.
Yeah.
Okay, so all these things are happening. It's a very stressful night. What happens next? You start drinking alcohol to deal with your stress?
Yeah.
And then?
Well, I drink a lot and people are still screaming. I don't remember half of it because I'm intoxicated. I was drinking a lot and just walk outside and start smoking.
Mm-hmm.
And my first time trying to smoke. A lot of my friends coming, hey, try this, try that. And I was like, yeah, give it to me. And then just drinking and just walking on the street.
So you were drinking and smoking and walking on the street at night?
At night. And then the thing is, I don't even remember how I ended up in the hospital.
What happened to you though?
Well, I asked, my friend told me I got hit by a car.
You got hit by a car and you don't remember anything? No. Yeah, okay. So you end up in the hospital.
Yeah.
Okay, so what happens when you go to the hospital? What do the Thai doctors tell you after your first operation?
I couldn't believe myself. My knee was shattered, right? And the doctor said, you will never walk again.
The doctor said you will never walk again.
Yeah. Play sports of any kind.
Or not even play any kind of sports, so you wouldn't be able to play rugby.
No.
How were you feeling when the doctor said that?
I was crying hard.
Of course.
Yeah. It was like the most stupid decision I ever made. I mean, I should have made it better.
What are you referring to? What decision?
Drinking.
Okay, so you're in the hospital now, and you just find out that both your femurs are broken and your ligaments are broken as well?
Yeah.
Or torn. Your ligaments are torn.
Yeah, ligaments are torn.
What happens after that?
Well, after hearing those that I cannot walk again, I was like, no.
You couldn't believe it.
Yeah, probably in denial. It was like, I want a second opinion. Yeah, my school, my university is the best. We have the best doctor. Yeah, better than that in Thailand. And I just fly over right away. I call my coach.
So you called your coach in Australia?
Yeah.
Okay, and then you flew to Australia to get a second opinion from Australian doctors.
Yeah. Now with my mom and dad.
With your mom and dad. You're like, let's go to Australia. Come on. This time I'm taking you with me.
Yeah.
Okay. So you go to Australia, and then what do the Australian doctors tell you?
They confirm the Thai doctors saying that you will never play sports again. But if you've done enough physical therapy, you will walk in probably 2-3 years, something like that.
Yeah, because you ended up having 2 years of multiple operations, and it was only after that the doctor said that you would be able to walk if you did physical therapy.
Yeah.
But they did confirm, like you said, that you would never be able to
play sports again.
So what were you feeling now?
Well, I'm hopeful because nothing is impossible in my mind, right? One Thai Indian kid that won a scholarship that never have anyone been won before in Thailand to play sports in Australia. I was the first one, so I was hopeful, actually.
Wow, I didn't know that. So you were the first Thai Indian to get a scholarship to play rugby in Australia.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, so you were feeling hopeful at least that you were going to be able to walk.
Mm-hmm.
But what else was running through your mind as you lay in bed in Australia, if you can remember?
Yeah, the thing is, I was 18 when I was surgery. 2 years, I was like, 2 years I will be 20. Probably more physical therapy. Probably take 1 or 2 more years. I will be maybe too old to play sports.
I want to stress that Nup was still determined to play sports despite being told by medical experts that it would be impossible for him to do so. It was, however, the thought of doing years of physical therapy and becoming too old to play rugby that disheartened him. What's more, Nup would soon discover neither his scholarship nor student visa would cover his medical expenses in Australia. Despite all this, the hardest pill to swallow was the fact that he would end up losing his scholarship. Nup would return to Thailand, leaving his rugby dream behind. I know you took it really hard. You wanted to, you didn't have the desire to live anymore. Was that in Australia or was that when you came back to Thailand?
When I came back, my father said to come back and start physical therapy in Thailand because it's cheaper.
What happened one time when you were in the hospital?
In the hospital, the world I know is gone. I can't take it back because of one mistake. I have to own it. And then everything is gone through my mind. The drugs and all the alcohol, the beer, tons of beer. And then, I don't know, it's just, I want a fresh air. In his wheelchair, Nup decided to go to the rooftop of the hospital to get some fresh air. He neared the ledge as pessimistic thoughts consumed his mind. And then I was just on the ledge, looking down, people walking across, have there. Even though there's some kid walking with the stick on, it was like, in a few months we will walk again. It was like going to take me 2 years.
Oh, okay. So you saw another person who had crutches,
Mm-hmm.
and you looked at them and you said, "Hey, they're going to be able to walk very soon."
Yeah.
And for you, it would take you 2 years to walk.
So if I'm being hopeful at that time, it will take more than 2 years. Like seriously.
Okay.
To walk again 2 years, right? And then if I want to play sports again, way longer than that. Even though the doctor said I can't, but I'm a sportsman.
You were hoping that they were wrong.
Yeah.
Right? Okay. So what were you thinking when you were on that ledge? You just wanted to end it, right?
Yeah.
And what happened?
The nurses came, my mom came, I was crying. My friend came along and bought one of the
Paralympics athlete?
athlete, yeah.
Okay, so after you left the rooftop, because thankfully the nurses noticed, and then it was like later, your mom brought you somebody who was a Paralympic athlete.
Yeah.
Okay, and what happened? What were you thinking?
I saw someone who's like me for the first time in my life.
What do you mean by like you?
No, can walk, right? And he's literally has no leg, right? I was like, I still have my own leg, even though something's taken out of it. It was like, he has no leg. He's still, wheeling chair and across to me like this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that close.
Mm-hmm.
It's just talking and touching my knees, and it felt pretty good. Yeah.
So let me emphasize that. That was the first time in your life you ever saw somebody who didn't have
both
their legs.
Yeah.
Did that help you, seeing this person?
It wasn't at first. And he was like, I know you're feeling. You still got a leg. I don't. Right? It's like, yeah, I know you're feeling. Right now, if you want to come with, there are a bunch of people like us, just like me, like us, right? Playing sports for the Paralympic team.
Mm-hmm.
You can start at any sports.
Mm-hmm.
There's no rugby, but you can start at any sports.
Would you say that you found courage to keep moving forward with your life and accepting your new reality because you were seeing the Paralympic athletes?
Yeah.
And would you also say that you found the courage because your mom and friends were encouraging you?
Yeah, both of them are. All of my friends said, you are not alone. See, these people are with you. We are all with you. Yeah, we are friends for life. Yeah.
Why is that so important, Nup, to be able to surround yourself with people who you love when you're feeling very down?
Because when you get depressed a lot and you're on drugs for the pain medicines and
It's okay, take your time.
Yeah, it's important to surround yourself with the people you love, because when you're alone, you're thinking in your own mind, right? All of the decisions that you took that should not have happened, but it did, and you need to own your own decisions, right? But when you're alone, all of that will swirling down in your head, and you will see no way out.
Yeah, so you get depressed because you realize that you made a mistake, and then you have all these negative thoughts. So it's so important to surround yourself with other people so that you can get out of those thoughts.
Yeah.
After 2 years of multiple operations, what did they put in your legs?
Metal plate.
The metal plates. And you were telling me before our recording that just recently, like a year ago, they took those metal plates out?
Yeah.
What's your situation now? Can you walk? Can you jog? What can you do?
I can walk. The doctor said I should take risks of jogging. Maybe they're suggesting. I was like, no. Walking? Sure.
What were the doctors suggesting?
To jog.
To jog.
Yeah.
Oh, right. And so you don't want to jog though?
No.
Why? Why is that?
Before I was a rugby player, I work out 8 hours a day. Running, doing stuff, weightlifting.
Wow.
For 8 hours every day. And we eat a lot. Right? To suppress all of the energy that's lost.
Sure.
I still eat a lot, but no exercise, like zero.
Today? No.
Today I probably feel walking. Now I take dancing classes.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
So the doctor suggested to you to start jogging, but you have decided not to, and you're happy with just walking today.
Yeah.
Why?
I think I'm grateful enough.
You're grateful enough.
Yeah.
Wow, that's...
I don't have a will to jog because when I jog, it might enter that dark place again.
At this point, I want to ask you yet another question. Do you think Nup is courageous? Let's find out what he thinks about himself. Would you say, Nup, that you are a courageous person?
Yes.
Why is that?
To be able to move past that point in your life is not an easy thing. Drugs, alcohol, smoke, a lot. Tons of it to get me through the days.
So as you were developing, and first of all, I totally agree with you. That's a lot. That is why I wanted to sit down and talk with you, and I wanted the listeners to hear your story because you are really an example of someone who is courageous. How did you, if you can remember, get through your days? Like, what did you tell yourself? How did you continue to build your courage?
Well, I'm not gonna lie, it's not easy. Every day is a challenge. But I tell myself, one baby step at a time. One baby small step at a time. Just to go through each day. And then a day became month, became year. Having my regular days with friends that I can completely trust. It's just, even though with my wheelchair, going around malls and, play with friends, play basketball, and I came to love basketball and watch a lot of basketball.
This was like as you were recovering and you were in the wheelchair, you took baby steps, you played basketball, you hung out with friends, and then over time, you were
still drinking alcohol.
Still drinking alcohol.
Yeah. I lost the beer.
What about today? There's no wheelchair.
Yeah, well, I'm grateful. There's no wheelchair anymore. Sometimes I kind of missed it. It's kind of part of my life. Yeah. I still have that wheelchair in my room right now, my bedroom. Yeah, I sometimes just sit on it when I want to think.
Okay.
Yeah, it became my thinking chair.
It's become your thinking chair.
Yeah, it became my thinking chair. I was like, think wrong and hard is something.
Okay.
Wow. It was like, sat there and like, oh yeah, my thinking chair.
Moves you in the right direction, right?
Yeah.
It gives you the best kind of thoughts that you can possibly think of and then make good decisions, right?
Yeah.
You developed courage throughout all these years. How do you view life now? Like, are you happy with your decision that you made to continue to live?
Yes.
Explain to the listeners why.
Well, because if you live, you have unlimited possibility in front of you.
Unlimited possibility.
Yeah, unlimited. Even though it's not what you hope for to be, but it's a possibility of getting something out of your life if you're not giving up on your life.
Nope. Would you say that you're happy today?
I am.
That's so nice to hear.
Yeah. I'm looking for a girlfriend though.
No, do you miss playing rugby, or have you come to terms with it?
I can still missing playing rugby every day. I love that. It's a part of who I am. I still get a ball. Nowadays there are national rugby team, not for Paralympics, but regular people. Yeah, I still go there and teach some of the moves. Not that I can teach much,
But you try.
but try. Yeah,
That's amazing.
yeah.
That you still keep that love for rugby and keep doing what you can do. Why did you want to share your story? No.
Truthfully, at first I'm not. I want to keep this locked away in a box down the ocean floor somewhere, like Titanic, gone forever. But even though it's after 18 years, I'm still time to time talk to my therapist, and what he said that if you really want to move past that point, talk it out. Many people would love to listen to your story and how have I overcome those challenges. Because it took every ounce of energy walk past that point.
What would you say to people who are disabled or having a really challenging time with their life right now, to the point maybe even they no longer want to live? What would you say to them? How can they get past their most difficult time in their life? How can they find the courage to do so? I know you mentioned do things in small steps, but is there anything else that you can say to the listeners or people who might be struggling right now?
I'll use this tagline from a team that I despise called Liverpool. You will never walk alone. That's it. One tagline. And it's said enough.
And when you say you will never walk alone, are you referring to surround yourself with people? There are people out there to help you?
There are many people out there to help. Yeah. And now I'm actually starting a foundation on that. Yeah.
Really? What is your foundation called?
Warriors.
And so in the foundation, what is it that you're trying to do?
Help those who cannot help themselves, in any way possible.
And how can people find this foundation?
We are just starting,
Okay.
not lifting yet, so wait for it.
Okay, it's coming. Okay,
It's
so
coming,
once this foundation has been established, we'll put it in the notes down below where people can contact you. But your story has been very inspiring, and just looking at you and seeing how far you have come, it's very inspiring.
Yeah, with a big
he has a
with
big belly. He has a big belly, but still you can walk, right?
Yeah.
Is there anything else you would like to say about the importance of having courage to move past your most challenging times?
Actually, very difficult to answer. Many people are struggling. I am still struggling. You see me walking, still inside, struggling every day. Courage is, you can find it in yourself if you can. If you're hopeful, you're faithful, if you believe in God, there are people who can find courage through that. If you're like me, who are atheist, you'll find courage elsewhere in other people who look like you.
So it's so important to connect with people who you can relate to get through the hard times.
Yeah.
In your case, people who weren't able to walk, right? You were able to connect with them.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything else, Nope, that you would like to say?
Don't lose hope.
Don't lose hope.
Every day is hopeful. Every day is a ray of sunshine.
Thank you so much, Nope, for like being so vulnerable and sharing your story with the rest of the world. Thank you so much. Oh, I did want to ask you, when did you decide that you wanted to share your story? Because before you said you wanted to just throw it at the bottom of the ocean in a box, but now you finally came to the realization you wanted to share the story. And this is the first time actually in public you are sharing your story.
Yeah.
When did you decide to do that?
A couple of months back. Actually, very recently, when I once start a foundation, the Warriors. I talked to a bunch of friends and sponsors and people and stuff. This will help a lot of people if you just share your story. I told them it's not easy. It's not an easy story to hear, or even a story to experience yourself. It's not easy at all. Took a lot from me.
I can tell, and that is why I asked you many times if you are okay with sharing it, and
I'm okay.
You're okay. Thank you. And I could tell during our conversation here today that there's times where you feel very stressed out, and it makes sense because it was very traumatic. But I'm so proud of you for opening up and sharing your story, and hopefully it'll reach people and it'll make a difference, which I think it will, because it's definitely made a difference for me.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
I definitely experienced a whirlwind of emotions while listening to his story. It's a powerful story with a very strong message. We must find the courage to take accountability for our actions. Have you made any decisions in your life that you are not taking responsibility for? If so, why not? And then what will it take to summon your courage to do so? Thank you for listening to Nope's story. If you feel someone else can find value from his story, please share it. Like always, I want to thank you for your attention and time. Remember, you can follow the X Perspective podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or your favorite podcast platform. We are also on Instagram, Facebook, X, and YouTube, so come join our community. Thanks again, and see you in episode 7.